Hey guys, here at Union Wine and Liquor. It looks really new. I think this used to be the Christmas Superstore, and the producers really pissed it's not anymore. But it looks really nice inside. Let's go check out what they have. So when you walk in right up front, they've got their barrel picks. That 3-quart double oaked was very tempting to me, but I've had a couple 3-quarts. I had the honey cask one is great. I've had a couple others that are just okay, so I held off on that. They didn't allow any tasting, so I didn't grab it. You can see the Jack Daniel's single barrel. They've got plenty of it. They had a bullet pick, and then we headed over to their regular bourbon section. They got the big boys, like Old Granddad here. They had a shelf up here that had a lot of New York State bourbons. That Iron Smoke is New York State. The Black Dirt is New York State. And then they had some other bottles mixed in. I think these are just bottles that they want to feature. Taconic, a bunch of Taconic across this row here. Some Peerless. And then I really do love Wilderness Trail. Those bottled and bond Wilderness Trails are something else. Pretty good price on the Milam and Green Unabridged. Usually I see that closer to $100. They did have a lot of empty slots on this shelf, but then when you headed over to your left here, you'll see there was a bunch of bourbon available. And on this shelf, they kind of had rye and bourbon mixed together. So I'm not really sure why they're mixing it up like that, but that's fine. You know, you can read the labels and see what it is. Um, they've got Larceny and Old Forester mixed in with some of these ryes. But you got the whole whiskey row there. And what I liked is I thought for the most part, this place was really reasonably priced. A lot of their prices were a couple bucks less than what I usually see things for in Western New York. I've gotten the impression from people out there and from other hunting videos that New York State's got it a little more expensive than some other places. So it's nice to find a store that, has things that are a little cheaper. This store is about 40 minutes from me, so I'm not going to go here on the regular, but when I'm up in Buffalo, I'll definitely pop in because I think their stuff is priced right. That Maker's Mark, that Giant Knob Creek, it's like $80 or more down here. And it's, I think it was 69 there. So, that's a pretty good deal if you're looking for a real big guy like that for mixing. That Wild Turkey too, that handle of Wild Turkey is over $60 down by me, and they had it there for 47. So I was really impressed with their prices and their selection. Really anything you could think of as far as standards go, they've got on the shelf. And then a few nicer ones. There's a Beam single barrel. You know, I don't really go for a lot of this flavored stuff, the Jim Beam and the Wild Turkey Honey and all that stuff. But there's Old Granddad, $26. I think that's the cheapest I've seen, the 114 around here for sure. So, they've got those little gems in there because I know a lot of people still have trouble finding 114. I'm finding it in every store I go into now. There's 1783, although I prefer the bottled in bond, and they have that right there. $35 for the big guy, which I think is pretty good. There's a bourbon cream from Ezra Brooks. I didn't know they made one, but I am really interested in maybe doing a video where we review a bunch of bourbon creams because we're big fans of Bailey's in this house. So I bet you that we'd enjoy some bourbon creams. Here's another shelf opposite the wall there with some more bourbons. That 1 Foot Cock is Buffalo Distilling. That is their 94 proof, like their standard offering. It's MGP. Their other bourbons are their own, but that is the only one that they source. And it's decent. It's a nice one for 40 or $50. There's some Woodinville on the end cap here. I had never seen a Woodinville rye, and they had a rye there, so that was cool. Some more bourbon over here. Calumet. They didn't have any of the 15 or 16, but they had some younger ones. The Old Tub for $30 was a lot. I have not seen it that expensive. Usually, down here, I've got it for $18, so it's not bad at all. So that Bib and Tucker, that's a double char. I never heard of it. If anybody knows anything about double char, let me know, because that was one of the ones that really intrigued me. I didn't end up buying anything here, but that was one I probably would have if I was in the buying mode. There's the Frank August. I hear good things. $80 for one I haven't tried yet is a tough sell. So until I get a sample or I'm able to try it somewhere, I'm going to hold off on that. Lots of Rabbit Hole. I mean, that's probably the most different bottles of Rabbit Hole I've seen in one place. A couple here I've heard of, but don't know much about: the Southern Star and the Davis County. And then all the way at the bottom, they've got Southern Tier. That's a local one. That bourbon's not so great, but their bottled and bond in their 7 years really good. The Nicholson Reserve, I don't know much about. I have heard of it before. Then we headed over to the case. They had some stuff that was probably should be in the case, and then they had other things like the Penelope Architect, which I really generally don't see in cases. Same with the Maker's Mark cask strength. But a nice selection at this store. I thought, it was a nice place to shop. There's the McKenna. $59 for the McKenna. It's a little more than what it should be, but it's certainly better than the $100 some people are charging for it. There's the barrel proof. That's the B batch. We are lousy with the B batch here. I mean, it is all over the place. They can't get rid of it. A couple of Kentucky Owls. Overall, a really, really nice store. Definitely a place I'll hit when I head up that way in the future. And a really nice selection, I thought, and most importantly, priced right, in my opinion. All right, guys, so there you have it. Another area store here in Western New York, Union Wine and Spirits. I actually really liked this store. I thought it was really clean. It was bright. And like I said at the beginning, I think it's fairly new. They had a really nice selection of bourbon. Didn't end up buying anything this time around because I've actually gotten quite a few bottles recently. My sister grabbed me a couple of bottles out in Colorado when she was visiting, including a Maker's Pick that I have on the way. Buffalo Distilling has their Empire Rye out now, so I'm going to grab one of those. I did get my Elijah Craig C batch, so I've bought quite a bit in the last week or so, and so I'm going to take it easy. So, but it is nice to know there's another shop that's got a really good amount of that Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. For a while here, it was really hard to find, but I would say that's probably the third or fourth store in the area where now I've gone and seen cases of it. So I think they're definitely starting to catch up with the demand as far as that goes. We'll do more hunting videos. I know Lauren is still going to do a Pennsylvania hunting video, so you can kind of see how it works down there in their state-run liquor stores. And whenever I hit a liquor store, I'll bring my camera along and bring you guys with me, and you can check out the selection and the prices that we have here around the Western New York area. Thanks for watching, everybody, and cheers.